All right, so let's begin our final PowerPoint walkthrough. In today's walkthrough, sorry, my screen's taking a second to catch up. In today's walkthrough, we will be going through inserting a video, inserting media clips, resizing a video, changing audio and video options in a PowerPoint. I'll also be covering how to insert a graphic and then change elements of that graphic that's inserted. Also doing some ungrouping and grouping of clip art pictures, recoloring of a picture, doing artistic effects on pictures as well. So I'm going to try to just cover those aspects and not go into everything that we previously learned in PowerPoint. So this should just be new information that we're going over today. So make sure you're following along. To start off, you want to open up the PowerPoint that can be found in this week's folder that is titled Birds. Go ahead and open that up. You should have saved all of the media clips, videos, and any of the pictures that were in this week's folder as well to prepare for this walkthrough. Okay, let's go ahead and save this. And just save it as your last name, comma, birds. You will be turning this in when we're done. All right, let's go ahead and get going on this one. Okay, so what we're going to start with doing is we're going to start with inserting a picture as a background. So what I'd like us to do is on slide 1, go ahead and right-click on the slide somewhere and go to Format Background. And then we're going to choose Picture or Texture Fill. Now what I noticed in the previous chapter was some of you, instead of placing the picture as the background, you moved the picture to the back. I'll be showing you the difference between the two in this tutorial. But make sure if it's the first slide, you're inserting the picture as the background. So you want to right-click, go to Format Background, go to Picture or Texture Fill. We're going to go down to Insert from File. You should have all the pictures, like I said, saved somewhere so they're handy for you to get to. Okay, and for slide number 1, we're going to choose Birds in Sky. Okay, as you can see, the picture's gone in the back of the background. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do a couple things to this. First, I want to check Hide Background Graphics. When I check Hide Background Graphics, that takes away some of the fade of the picture and you can barely see the title. That's okay, we're going to make some corrections to it. Okay, on the left-hand side, we're going to choose Picture Color. And we changed the saturation last unit when it came to picture saturation with changing the different color options. We're actually going to go down to Recolor. And you can see that there's all different scales that you can change it to. We're going to change it to Washout. It's on the first row. It's the 4th one in. Okay, so that gives us that faded look again. And then we're going to click on Artistic Effect. Go to your options for Artistic Effect. And all of these are different effects that maybe a photographer would use on their pictures. We are going to choose the 3rd row and the 3rd column, the one that's called Film Grain. Go ahead and choose that one. Okay, we don't hit Apply to All because we're not putting this picture in the background of all of our slides, so we just close it. Okay, so now you can see this picture that is in the back of my slide. I can't click on the picture and move it or do anything like that. It is stuck on the slide. Okay, now what I'd like you to do with the title is go ahead and left align it, Control L, or you can go up to your paragraph group on your Home tab. We're going to align it to the left. And then we're going to bring it down, so just drag the text box down. In the subtitle, let's go ahead and put presented by, colon, and then put your name, your first and last name. Okay, so here we've got our title slide. We'll be doing some more to this slide as we go through the walkthrough. Okay, let's go down to slide 3. And this one we're going to insert a picture as well. Okay, to insert a picture, we're going to go up to Insert on our ribbon. Go to Picture because we have it saved. And we're choosing Bird Reflect. Okay, so now we're going to actually resize this picture so that it fits the entire slide. So you're going to have to adjust it using the corner and dragging it out, as well as resizing it down a little bit. Okay, so make sure you're filling up the whole slide. Okay, so let's change the color on this one as well. So when I have my picture selected, I'm going to go to my Format on my Pictures tools, which should pop up on your ribbon. Over on the left-hand side under the Adjust group, we're going to go to Color. You can see it has the two that are chosen already, and then we're looking down at Recolor, and we're going to choose the Blue Accent Color 1 Light. So the third row, second one in. Okay, let's just change it to a little bit of a lighter tone. Okay, then we're going to change the artistic effect on this one as well. And we are going to change it to Glow Diffused. So I chose Artistic Effects under the Adjust group, went to the second row, and the fourth one in, so the fourth column, second row, Glow Diffused. Okay, so just changes the tone a little bit. Okay, so as you can see, since I inserted this picture on the slide and did not create it as the background, you can no longer see the text that was on the slide. So in order to move this picture to the back, make sure your picture is selected. On your Formatting tab, we're going to go over here to where it says Arrange. And then where it says Send Backward, go ahead and go on that little arrow, and we're going to choose Send to the Back. Okay, so now our text comes up on front. Now you can see that this is different than our first slide because I can move it, and I can mess with the picture a little bit more. Okay, so we're just going to move it to the back. We can still move the text here if we wanted to. We don't need to at this point. But just make sure that that picture is filling up that entire slide. Okay, we're going to go ahead and click on slide number 2. Okay, on slide 2, we are going to select our picture, select our image here. We are going to right-click on it and copy it, or you can hit Control-C on your keyboard. So let's go to slide 1. Hit Control-V. Control-V as in Victor if that pastes your image. Okay, if you right-click, if you decide to right-click and paste, you want to make sure that you're using this first option. The picture option isn't going to give you the same preferences with this picture, and I'll show you that in a second when we're going to work with it. So just make sure that you're using this first option or Control-V as in Victor. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and move our picture, and we're going to put it so that the little branch that the bird is sitting on is going to be on that third period at the end of our title. And so right now it's kind of covering up some of our word feather. That's okay, we're going to work with this here in a second. Okay, so in the Microsoft programs, there are files, there's clip art files that you can actually ungroup and edit. Now, in order for them to be ungrouped and edited, they do have to be a certain kind of file. If it's a photo, like what we used on slide 3, this one cannot be edited in the same way as this little clip art picture of the bird. It does have to be a picture that can be taken apart into different shapes. So what I'd like you to do is go ahead and select the picture, go up to your tools, and over in the Arrange group, you can see the option of Group. Okay, we're going to go ahead and click on that, and we're going to select Ungroup. Now, if Ungroup is not available for an image that you're trying to ungroup and edit, then that means that image can't be done. Now this image can be ungrouped, so if for some reason the copying didn't work, you might need to copy it again and make sure that you've copied it the correct way, Control-C, Control-V, so that you have all the properties coming over to this slide. So we're going to ungroup it. Okay, when you ungroup something in Microsoft, it asks if you want it to convert into a drawing object, and yes, we do. So we hit yes. Okay, and now this is ungrouped. I actually am going to have you ungroup it one more time. Okay, so we've ungrouped it twice now. And you can see that when I click on it, I can click on different little parts of this image. Okay, you might want to zoom in a little bit when we're working with this. It makes it a little bit easier. All right, so with the picture selected, we're going to go up to our drawing tools. And we're going to change some of the coloring of this picture. So first I want you to select the beak, the inside mouth of the bird. So not actually the beak, the inside mouth. So you'll just click on the mouth and there will be a box that will be put around it. We're going to go up to Shape Fill on your Drawing Tools group in the Shape Styles area. And we're going to change the fill to yellow. Okay, so we're changing the inside of the bird's mouth. Okay, if you accidentally changed the outside of the beak, just click off your image, try clicking on it again inside and see if you can fix that. A lot of times it's just a lot of re-clicking and clicking in to the picture, but you do have to click off of the image and then go back into it. Okay, so we changed the inside of the beak to, or the inside of the mouth to yellow. Now we're going to click on one of the leaves. So go ahead and click on a leaf. You want to click on the entire leaf. So you can see that when I first clicked, I was able to select, no, I can't do it, select just part of the leaf. Make sure it's around the entire leaf. Go back up to your shape fill, and we're going to change it to green accent 3. It's on your top row of your theme colors, green accent 3. Okay, we're going to actually change all of our leaves to that color. So if I just continue to click on them, click on shape fill, it already has that green color selected, so you should be fine. And we are changing all of these colors. Okay, again, if it's not selected in the whole leaf, click off and just retry it. It does take a lot of, playing around with it. Okay, so make sure you've repeated that for all of the leaves on this. Okay, so then we're going to actually delete the background of this, and to select the background of this picture, you want to click on the picture. You can see that it has the whole picture selected right now, and then you want to kind of click on one of the edges. Okay, when you click on the edge, it should select, put a box around the entire picture again, and then you can hit delete. Okay, so you should be able to see that I've deleted the yellow background. You can see that there's still this white in here, and that's just some of the inside notes that were on there. Don't worry about deleting all those. I mean, you could kind of mess around with it by clicking in it. See, I'm just kind of clicking inside here and getting different parts of it. If you wanted to click on this one right here, the little one over the R, sorry. You can see that there's little dots that you can actually erase, but just getting rid of the yellow is fine. Okay, so we have now fixed our picture. Now go ahead and you can zoom back out of your slide. Now I want you to select the picture again, and we're going to go back up to our group, and we are going to regroup the image. Okay, so now I've regrouped it so I can move it again. Okay, I do want you to regroup it so it's no longer ungrouped. Okay, when it's ungrouped, you can actually click on parts of it and remove them or move them over. So that's why we want to regroup this image. Okay, so that's ungrouping and editing a clip art image, making it into a drawing tool. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and go down to slide 3. And we are going to insert a video file. Okay, so what I'd like you to do is go ahead and go up to your Insert tab on your ribbon. And on the far right, you'll see Media. Click on the little video arrow that gives you the different options here. We're going to do Video from File. Okay, and we're going to choose the wildlife one that we have saved from this week's folder. When you select the video, it pops up on your screen. Okay, and it fills out the entire screen. Okay, we're going to do some changes to the video. We're going to actually trim the video. So if you want to play the video, you can go ahead and click down on the little play arrow. And you can see that it takes a second, but it will play it. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pause that. Now this video is about wildlife migration, not just about birds. So we want to edit this video. So what we're going to do is up on our video tools, we're going to click on Playback. When you click on Playback, we're going to go over to the left-hand side in the editing group, and we're going to go to Trim Video. Okay, to trim the video, you can move in your start and your end times. On this particular one, we're just going to move our start time. And I'd like for you to move it all the way over to 24 seconds. It's going to be approximately 24 seconds, so 24.63 seconds is where you're going to move this to. So this clip that we're now putting in our slideshow is only about 6 seconds long. It's very short. So all I've done is I've changed the start time. You can use your arrows over here to do that as well, or you can drag the little green line. That's your start time. You can type in the exact amount to 24.634, or you can just drag it over. We're just trying to get where all of the seagulls are on the ground. That's where we're going to start it, and then hit OK. Okay, so now if we play this one, you can see it's very short, and it's just the birds flying. Okay, so we've trimmed our video down, and now we're going to change some of our video options. So when you're actually showing your slideshow, there are different things you can do. You can get to a slide and you can choose on click, which means you would have to manually click to start the video. Now, oftentimes when you're presenting something, you don't have the ability to have the computer right in front of you or have a smart board to click on. So what I'd like for you to do is go up here and choose automatically. So that means when it gets to this slide, it's automatically going to play the video. It does take it a second, but it will automatically play it. We also want it to play in full screen. So we're going to go ahead and play it in full screen. We're going to change the volume, because I actually don't want any volume on this one. So we're going to change the volume to muting it. Okay, we're just going to actually play it one time. So we're going to keep all these unchecked here. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to insert a different audio for this video. So go ahead and click off of the video. Make sure you can go ahead and click on the thumbnail for slide 3 over on the left-hand side. That way you're not selecting the picture or anything like that. And we're going to go up to Insert and then Audio. And we're going to choose Audio from File. Okay, on this one we're going to choose the one that says Glade Birds and insert that. Okay, so we're changing the audio on this particular video. Okay, it takes it a second to load. Okay, and you'll see that once it loads, it gives you a little icon of a speaker. Okay, I would like for you to move this little icon up to the top left corner of your screen. And we can play it so you can listen to it. Birds chirping. Okay, so that's what's going to be playing now instead of what we have in the video since we muted that. Okay, go ahead on your audio tools, go ahead and click on playback. Okay, and we're going to choose in the same area that we were with our video. We're going to choose automatically. We want it to automatically start to play when we get to this slide. We're going to select loop until stopped, which means when I am done presenting, then it'll stop, or if I was to click on a different slide, it would stop. We are going to hide this little icon during the presentation so nobody can see it. And let's just make sure our volume is on high. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and select slide 1. And we're going to insert an audio clip for this slide as well. So let's go to Insert, Audio, Audio from File. We're going to choose Birds at Dawn and Insert. Okay, again, it takes a second for it to load. We're going to go ahead and move the little icon. Let's move it to the bottom left-hand corner. It doesn't really matter on this. Go to your playback. Again, we can play it if you'd like to listen to it. It's a little softer than the last one. Again, in our audio options, we're going to do automatically. We're going to loop it until stopped. We're going to hide it during the show. And we want to change the volume on this one to medium, so it's not quite as loud. Okay, so we've got a clip on this slide. We have a clip on 3. We're actually going to insert another graphic on slide 1. So let's go ahead and go to Insert Picture again. And we're going to insert the music notes. Okay, we're going to put the music notes right by the open mouth of the bird. Okay, so we just added a little clip there. Okay, let's go back to slide 3. And we're going to change our video style. So let's go ahead and click on our video. We're going to go to Format. And we're going to go to our Video Styles group. So go to the More options. And under Intense, we're going to go ahead and choose, it should be on the second row. It might be different on yours depending on how you have your screen set up. But it's called Bevel Perspective, so it has rounded edges and it's kind of angled. Okay, and then we're going to resize this so that it can fit right next to the bird that's on our slide. Okay, before we were kind of hiding our bird. I'm going to drag that over a little bit. So it's on the slide. Now we don't have to worry about this not being able to be seen because when we set up our options for our video, it should be playing on a full screen when we get to that slide. So it'll show this for a second, it'll play it on a separate screen, and then it'll come back to this slide. Okay, now we're going to add some notes to our slides. Now when you're giving a presentation, I think I've mentioned this before, you can add speaker notes down at the bottom. So I'd like to add speaker notes. Let's just add it to slide 1. Okay, and down at the bottom, in this little box is where you can add your speaker notes. And we're just going to write a simple sentence. We're going to put the largest bird in the world is the ostrich, and the smallest is the hummingbird. Okay, you can obviously write an entire speech in the speaker notes on all of these. As you can see, slide 2 already has notes. Okay, we have some misspellings, so we're going to correct our spelling here in a second. Slide 3 doesn't have any. We could say, talk a little bit about bird migration. I'm not going to worry about that right now. Go ahead and delete slide 4. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and we just have 2 things left to do. We're going to go to Review and go to Spelling. Go ahead and correct all of the mistakes. Okay, there's several of them. Okay, and it should have corrected the entire thing, even our speaker notes that were misspelled a little bit. Okay, and now I want to show you one other thing before we play it as a slideshow. If you're wanting to print handouts of a presentation, the way you would print actual handouts is going to your File tab, going down to Print, and there's a few different options you can choose. On where it says full page slides, that's what it defaults to. You can click on that and you can change your options. So if you wanted to do a couple slides on a handout, you could choose the 2-slide and they give you a preview. A lot of people like to do a 3-slide handout so that people can take notes on the sides of them. This one gives you little lines. Now as the speaker, if you wanted to have your notes, you would click on Print Layout Notes page, and it would always print your notes at the bottom, or you could take additional notes. So these are just different print options that you can use for your presentation. Okay, now let's go ahead and click on Slideshow, and I want you to run it from the beginning. Okay, as you can see, it comes up, it plays my sound. I can hit my arrows or a space bar to go to the next one. You can't see any of the speaker notes, which is how we want it. Here's my video. It pops up to a full screen. And the sound on that video is a little bit delayed. That's how you would view your PowerPoint. Okay, and that's all for this week's tutorial. So go ahead and save this. Make sure you're submitting it on this week's submission assignment. There is an assignment that you're going to need to do that's going to be reviewing some of these things. Ungrouping clip art, putting the picture as the background, changing the effects, adding a video. So make sure that you're reading through the directions carefully and you're submitting all your work. And that is all.